More FPL. Today I want to talk about my current Gameweek 8 Wildcard squad in more detail. I activated the Wildcard last Saturday as soon as Gameweek 7 started as planned, and this is my current draft. First, let's run through my current squad and talk about who's locked in, who could move out, and who could come in. So let's talk about my goalkeepers. I've brought in Aaron Ramsdale of Arsenal to be my number one. Of the budget options, Arsenal do seem to have the best defence, and he's also picked up some save points. The Gunners also have a good set of upcoming fixtures after a tricky start. There are lingering doubts over rotation with Bernd Leno, but I think he has the jersey for now. With Ramsdale due to go up in price early in the week, I made the decision to get rid of Robert Sanchez. Brighton do have a decent defence, but he wasn't getting too many saves, so I felt his point ceiling was quite low. Fixtures didn't factor into the decision too much, but they do face Man City and Liverpool in the next three. The main alternative is David Raya of Brentford, given their good start to the season, particularly defensively, and he also has a few save points. Vicente Gaeta of Crystal Palace is another option, but I'm not sure how solid they're going to be moving forward. Ben Foster will almost certainly move my backup, as he's the only playing 4 million goalkeeper. I find that with two 4.5 million goalkeepers, I often end up picking the lowest scoring one each week, and I feel I can make better use of the 0.5 million elsewhere. Now let's talk about my defence. Trent Alexander-Arnold of Liverpool will be back in my squad if fit, as Liverpool have decent defence, he's pretty nailed, and has so much attacking threat. The fixtures are pretty good too. I brought in Antonio Rudiger of Chelsea last week, and he does seem pretty nailed, albeit with limited attacking threat. He may be a slight injury doubt from the internationals, so I'll look out for news on that. I like Joao Cancelo of Man City for clean sheets and attacking threat, ahead of Ruben Diaz, who is probably a bit more nailed, even though Cancelo can play right or left back. I like to have balance between risk and reward, so Rudiger plus Cancelo looks like a good combination. There are other premium options if Trent is out or if I decide to go 4 at the back. Cesar Azpilicueta of Chelsea is a great option, particularly while Reece James is out and he can play at right wing back, where he got 2 assists last week. I think the return of Ben Chilwell makes both him and Marcos Alonso non-options due to the threat of rotation. Double Man City or Chelsea defence is certainly viable, as they have the best defences in the league with just 3 goals conceded in 7 matches. Tino Livramento was already in my squad as a great budget enabler, and Southampton do have a good upcoming run of fixtures should he just come in at any point. Ben White may also remain as a good budget option with Arsenal's fixtures, even though he has limited attacking threat. I could also go with Shane Duffy of Brighton, who has more attacking threat but may not be nailed in the longer term. Now let's talk about my midfield. This is where most changes could be made, apart from Mo Salah of Liverpool, who's completely locked in. He's basically the best attacking option in the game and a good captaincy shout most weeks. I'm unsure of Diogo Jota's minutes with Roberto Firmino now back, so he may come out. Said Benrahma will likely go, but not until he needs to, in case I decide to keep him, as he's risen 0.6 million since I brought him in at the start of the season. I think there's a chance he starts to get rotated around West Ham's Europa League fixtures, although he has played the majority of minutes recently. Emile Smith-Rowe has risen in price and may stay, either as a 4th midfielder, or because of his low price, he could be first bench to come on in case of any rotation. Rafinha will probably come in. I thought before the season started that he was underpriced, and the only reason I didn't start with him was uncertainty over quarantine issues and the initial run of fixtures. But now, Leeds have a great run right through to Gameweek 16. Brazil do have a game not too long before the Gameweek 8 deadline though, so I'll be looking for news around that. I'll probably end the week with Bukayo Saka of Arsenal, instead of, or as well as, Smith-Rowe. I do think I want at least one Arsenal midfielder at those prices with the fixtures. I think Saka is a better option and a bit more nailed, as Martin Odegaard plays in Smith Rowe's preferred number 10 position. Andros Townsend of Everton has risen in price and may stay, or he could become Brian Mbeumo of Brentford or Conor Gallagher of Crystal Palace. There's a lot of budget midfield options, and I could even play 5 across midfield. Finally, let's talk about my forwards. Romelu Lukaku of Chelsea was locked as a second captaincy option, but there's a bit of concern around the injury he sustained playing for Belgium that caused him to return to Chelsea early, so I'll be looking out for updates. If he's fit, he'll definitely be in my squad with Chelsea's upcoming fixtures. He hasn't scored too well recently, but aside from Southampton last week, the fixtures have been pretty tough. I could switch back to Cristiano Ronaldo around Gameweek 14 or 15 when the fixtures swing back. If he's not fit, Jamie Vardy could be a decent placeholder option at a similar price. He's actually second top point scoring forward so far, and they have a decent run of fixtures after Man United this week. Michail Antonio is pretty locked with the form he's shown and the lack of availability of other mid-price forwards such as Dominic Calvert-Lewin of Everton and Patrick Bamford of Leeds. I'll continue to monitor the rotation around West Ham's Europa League matches, but he seems to have managed both so far. I think he's a standout mid-price striker option and could even be a captaincy shout some weeks. Hee-Chan Hwang of Wolves is currently my third forward. It's now 3 goals in 4 games for the new signing, and he's now started the last 2. Wolves do have good upcoming fixtures. He looks to be the standout budget option at 5.5 million if he keeps his place. So I could stick with him, or go for either Ivan Toney of Brentford or Adam Armstrong of Southampton, or even go 2 up front if I decide there's better value in defence and or midfield. Lastly, what about starting 11 and captaincy? It'll be Livramento and 2 more on my bench, depending on which formation I end up with. I'll have Salah and Lukaku as my 2 main captain options in my new squad, and this week I'll probably be going with Salah, especially given his strong showing this week. He also has a slightly better fixture than Lukaku. I'll post my transfers and final team selection on Twitter once they're done, so follow me at more_FPL for all updates. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please add your own thoughts and follow-up questions in the comments, and I'll try to get through as many as I can. If you made it to the very end, please destroy the like and subscribe buttons and notification bell to get more FPL.